Hello guys, and welcome back to another Design Clips here at Wplus9. This is Dawn Woolslegel, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Biggest Fan stamp set. This is another stamp set from our April 2016 release, and it features this gorgeous, large love you sentiment along with a lot of sub-sentiments and these great little accent images. So today we're going to take a look at how to build your backgrounds using just those accent images. So I'm going to be creating not one but two cards today, and I've taken those little images and I've pre-mounted them on my blocks. For my color palette, I've chosen a bright summery palette. I'll be using Sweet Gelato, Wild Mango, Last Leaf, and Ocean Drive. This is a great bright summer color combo. I'm stamping these in rainbow order, so I'm starting with the Sweet Gelato, and then I'll move through to the Wild Mango, the Last Leaf, and finish off with Ocean Drive. I like to start with the larger elements first, stamp them in odd numbers, usually groups of 3 in a triangular pattern. Then I'm going to come in and fill in with the smaller heart in between there, and I'm going to make sure that I leave enough room to fit that large arrow in, and I'm going ahead and putting that into the empty spaces. Now I don't want an abrupt line break between colors, so I'm going to take that little heart and I'm going to add just a few kind of coming down, encroaching into the Wild Mango area. And before I switch colors, I'm going to clean with some Ultra Clean from Simon Says Stamp. Now our inks do stain your stamps and can leave this residual ink behind, so that if I were to come in from using the Sweet Gelato straight into that Wild Mango, I would get this actually a really pretty corally color where the inks would mix. However, that's not what I wanted for this particular card, so I made sure to clean in between. So this is a quick and easy way to get personalized, almost like patterned paper, and you could take it as far down the card as you wanted, or you could cover the whole background like I'm doing, and you could do this with any of those little stamps that are included in many stamp sets. So now I'm going to switch to the Last Leaf, and I'm going to repeat the same thing. This whole process actually goes really fast, and you could fill up a large, like a whole sheet of paper, and then cut it into fourths to make several cards at once. Now once the Ocean Drive was done, I wanted to add a little something to kind of marry all of the colors together, some sort of element that went through all 4 colors, and that's where the little arrow comes in. I'm going to stamp that one in our pure black in any bare spots left. And this punch of black is actually going to intensify those colors and make them even brighter. And again, it's going to add a unifying theme throughout all of the colors. And I could have stopped with just the arrow, but I decided that there were still some gaps in there that I wanted to fill in. I know, it doesn't look like you could possibly fit anything else on this paper, but trust me, there's a small heart, the tiniest little heart in this set, and I used that to come in and fill in between anywhere I could possibly squeeze another stamp. Step away from the stamps. Okay, so once that was done, I just die cut this using the rounded corner die that has the stitching detail from our Love Mom Layers die set. And now it's time to start putting together our sentiment or our focal area. I know I'm going to be stamping the rest of my sentiment onto this banner that I've die cut with our banner trio die, and that's on our black cardstock. And then I've also stamped and fussy cut a few of those little hearts. This is another great use for those little stamps that are in your sets. I'm going to be using them similarly to the way you would accent with sequins or enamel dots. So here's this large love you sentiment, and I'm going to be inking this up in, it's not really ombre, because ombre or a gradient would be the same color, correct? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's ombre. Anyway, I'm going to ink it up on the top with the Wild Mango, and then it's going to blend into the Sweet Gelato. So I'm inking up the love and then coming down into the U just a little bit, and then I'm going to take the Sweet Gelato, turn the stamp around, and do the same thing, except for this time I'm going to ink up the U, and then I'm going to bleed into the love just a little bit and let those two colors overlap. You can see I'm doing this with a quick tapping motion. And then again, that Sweet Gelato is heavier in color pigmentation than the Wild Mango, so I'm just going to come back over with the Wild Mango and get a nice good blend where those two colors cross. And I'm just going to stamp this down. And this is a large solid stamp, so if you have problems getting even coverage or even stamping with large stamps, you could always either put a mouse pad underneath or use something like the Misty or a stamp press to make sure that you just get a good even impression. And I'm going to die cut that using another die from our Love Mom Layers die set. And this is going to give us a circle with that faux stitching detail. And I'm a huge fan of our layer die sets. We have quite a few, this Love Mom Layers and sunshine layers, just to name a few. And they all have several dies in them that you can layer together to create these great little panel pieces. And I think they're just great for pulling together a unified finished design in no time. So now that we've got all of our pieces, it is time to finish out our sentiment. And this one is going to say, "Love you, you are my person." I'm going to be heat embossing that onto the black banner, so I've already treated it with an embossing buddy bag to remove any static, and I'm going to be using the Sending, Hoping, Wishing stamp set. Now this one has this large U, and then it has the sub-sentiment that says, "Are my person," but I need this to say, "You are my person." There's also a sentiment in here where it says wishing, and then you can finish it with "you were here." So I'm going to take that "you were here" and I'm just going to cut off the "you," and then I'm going to mount it with the "are my person." So now I will have "you are my person." And don't worry, cutting your stamps won't hurt them. I can always mount them on the block together and use them as intended. So I'm just going to stamp this in Versamark ink, and then I'll use the Wow Bright White Superfine Embossing Powder, and then zap that with my heat tool to melt it until it's bright white. And now it's time to start assembling. So I'm going to use the multimedia mat to adhere the hearts that I fussy cut. And this is my medium of choice because it's A, super strong, and B, it dries clear and matte. So if you are messy like me, then it's not noticeable when it's all splooging out of the sides. To adhere the banner, I'm going to be using some foam squares. But before I adhere it, I need to add some sparkles because I know exactly who I'm going to send this card to, and she is the queen of Wink of Stella. So yes, I'm going to add Wink of Stella in the clear glitter to the Love You. And she will know when she gets this card that I made it especially for her because I think that she would bathe in Wink of Stella if she could. She is such a girl, but I do. I love her to death. She really is my person. She just gets me. So I've gone ahead and adhered the banner, and now I'm going to adhere this other little heart that I stamped and hand trimmed, and then I'm going to add Wink of Stella to all of the little hearts as well. And this is where the indecisive little monster in me decided to rear its head because I couldn't decide if I liked it bright and bold like this or if I wanted to diffuse it with some vellum. So I decided to make two cards. So this first one, I cut down this vellum panel and I'm adhering it with permanent adhesive. It's going to show through, but that's okay because my focal, my little sentiment is on a solid piece. I've put the adhesive behind that, so you'll never know. I adhered the entire panel to my card base using some 3M foam tape, which you'll see here in a minute I actually ripped off and put onto a black card base. I told you I'm indecisive. I'm adhering this with some Tombow permanent adhesive, and then I added a few enamel dots. So here are the two completed cards. You can see I went ahead and put this on a black card base instead, and then I've upped the exposure here on the camera just so you could really see how shiny and sparkly that Wink of Stella is. It's really beautiful in real life, and when it catches the light, oh, it really is gorgeous. I don't blame her for loving Wink of Stella. So this one again is all done, and then for the second version I decided to leave that gorgeous pattern showing full strength, and I added some more of those hearts again, and this time I just stuck with the "Are my person." It says "Love you, are my person," so it could be like, what are those little word puzzles where they begin and end each other? What am I thinking? Like chain reaction? I don't know. Anyways, I just thought it was kind of quirky, matched the quirkiness of the drawing. I also die cut one of those arrows and covered the hearts in enamel accents. So I can't decide which one I like better. Again, you tell me. Leave it in the comments below. I hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Remember, you can find all of the featured supplies at Wplus9.com, and you can find more on our blog at stampawaywithme.blogspot.com. Speaking of, I don't know if you guys noticed, but our blog has been much more active lately. We are averaging a post every other day, and they are not always videos. So if you don't check out our blog, be sure to do that because you'll see lots more projects than what you see here on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye.